In this episode I will talk about farming. There's many different ways to farm in Dota. Obviously there's the right and the wrong way of farming. I mean, you don't always know which is the right and which is the wrong. It always changes in games. But usually the rule of thumb is the more aggressive you can farm, the better it is, because in that way you're also creating pressure while you are farming, and it's just the best way of playing fast. And playing fast is very important, because that way the enemy has less time to react, less time to get their items, which they're also looking to do. So with farming, it's not just about you farming, it's about the enemy is gonna farm while you farm. So obviously the best way of doing it is taking their side of the map and farming their side of the area, so they're getting less and you're getting what they would get otherwise. Yeah, I mean, then as a mid laner, there's very different approaches. Some games you have very big role in the farming, like your teammates expect you to have a lot of money, have a lot of items, be able to carry the team. For example, if you're playing Arc Warden or maybe Invoker, some of these heroes, they can have a very big role in the later game with the item choices they make. Or there's the more different approach, like say you're playing Pangolier or Earth Spirit or Quasvex Invoker, very different from Exort Invoker, for example. And then you're having the role of trying to annoy the enemies while they are farming, trying to make sure they are not comfortable and reducing their farm, and meanwhile trying to still get some out of the map, like getting kills, getting waves when you can. But usually you will never hit neutral creeps, because hitting neutral creeps it basically means your hero is not doing anything at the moment of the game. You are just hitting creeps, you're getting gold, that's the only thing you're getting. So you're not slowing down the enemies, you're only getting something for yourself. So usually that's the worst way you can farm, but obviously some guy usually has to do it, and it usually is the carry who hits those creeps because he hits them fast and it's efficient for him to do it. But as a mid laner, usually you have better things to do, like pushing the wave. There's usually always a wave you can push, hitting the tower, going to their jungle while they're farming there, hitting their hero when they're jungling, pushing a tower, like rotating, pushing the top tower, whatever it is. But usually there's always better things to do than hitting your own neutral creeps. I mean, in most games it's ideal that your lineup has one hero who's like fast farmer. He can farm jungle fast. Sometimes it's from the mid lane, but usually it's the carry who does that job, at least for our team. I'm more like a playmaker, I farm less. And yeah, basically that guy's role is we make space for him so the enemy is not allowed to enter our jungle, so he can freely farm as much as he can, possibly. So yeah, there's different roles. Like mid laners usually have multiple roles, like the way they play. It's a bit different from carry. Usually carry is always like a bit similar. You always hit creeps and you are always the guy who gets a lot of gold. But from mid lane, there's different heroes that have different roles. So you always have to identify like what is the role of your hero. Are you a TA or Morphling who's supposed to only hit creeps and also hit jungle creeps when they can, or Invoker or Pangolier who is not supposed to hit neutral creeps almost at all. It's mostly just creating pressure, pushing the waves while you farm, making ganks happen, reducing their farm, these kind of things. The way you want to farm usually is, I mean, early in the game obviously things are very basic, people are laning and there's not much happening. But then as you get later in the game, the information is crucial, like how efficiently and how aggressive you can farm. Like say there's one guy pushing top lane all the way into their tier 2, nobody's reacting. Then as a carry player, if you're farming on the bottom side of the map, you need to start really like the fact that nobody's defending top, you need to really think about it like this is a red flag. I should never be bottom at this point anymore, because it's obvious what they're doing. They are not showing top, it means they're on the bottom side of the map. Otherwise someone would be hitting the creep top and farming it. Because you always have to think like the enemies are doing the same thing as you. They are looking to farm as much as they can. They're looking to make plays happen. So you have to respect that and always just evaluate if I can take this risk. Like if they have 2 guys bottom, am I still gonna be fine? And then it's your own call if you can make it. But yeah, it's a lot about just looking at the minimap all the time and just thinking if like getting information on the map basically, and then playing accordingly. You always when you farm, you always want to think ahead. Like if you are, it's always lineup dependent. If you can be the team that can chill and farm, or you're the team that has to hit a timing and push the timing really hard. Some people might get too relaxed when they have like free farm. You're feeling good, you have Battle Fury, you get 1 extra item, you're feeling really good, you're like farming super fast. But then you realize that, oh shit, their heroes really counter my hero. Then you really need to start like thinking fast, like how do I make most out of my hero while it's still useful before their heroes come online, like before they get too many items to counter my hero. So it's always about communicating with your team, like guys, I'm gonna counter, how can we counter their counter? Like it's like, okay, I have this IO in my team, he can tether me and keep healing me and give me Glimmer or something, so I'm fine. But I mean, Dota is all about being in your comfort zone. Like it's a big thing about succeeding. It's about knowing what you're doing and being comfortable with what you're doing. Like if you start stressing out, you're gonna start making questionable moves, and then you're not gonna be farming, and then you're also gonna be losing these fights. So it's all about making the plan ahead. Like, okay, we get this item. Once we get this item, we will group up, get this push going, and then you can feel comfortable. Like it's okay to farm this couple of minutes because after that we're gonna make a big play and punch them with it. A very easy example is you're playing Spectre safe lane, and normally you just go power jets and then you maybe go blade mirror drums, but then the next item is gonna be Radiance almost every game. So obviously if people don't really understand what Spectre is gonna do and you don't communicate it, your team might think like, oh shit, we're losing this game really hard because we cannot fight them right now and they're just taking our towers. So then you just have to communicate it like, guys, I'm waiting for my Radiance. Can you like keep the game stable for me for a while so I can come online? So then as a team you make it happen. You push this, you defend the towers without him as well as you can and make space for him, and you can be chill about it or you can be stressing out depending how you approach how your communication in the team is. Every time you hit an item timing as a core player, generally you always want to use it some way. Like for example, me as an invoker, first item is just the boots, obviously, face boots. That timing is like, you cannot really use that yet, it's just the first one. Then you hit drums, already you're like, okay, this is pretty good. Now I can like start moving on the map, making plays happen, ganking their supports and maybe even their carries. And then like always think about like, how strong am I with the item I'm hitting? Is it strong enough that I can take team fights? Is it strong enough for me to take a more aggressive position? And yeah, it's never like, Dota is never like, oh, you hit item and then you straight away just farm the next item. You always want to do something with the item you hit because that way you slow their game down, you might get more map control, and that way your team gets more gold because you are making plays happen and you're getting more map control with the items you bought. So you get more with items. Here you can already see my first timings have been my face boots. This is my first item timing. I'm looking to use it as well as I can, and it was ganking top lane. At this, I mean, I got a kill for it. I'm pushing the lane in, and that can be it. That can be enough as your first item timing. You get a kill, you get back to your lane, you make some pressure on the other lane, and then you just fall back to farming. And I'm using it even more. I'm helping the bottom lane when they're overextending. So yeah, it's very simple like this. Like first items can be very simple like this. You just use them a little bit when you can. Yeah, they're showing Doom bottom, and this guy is pushing very deep here. So obviously he's not thinking about how he should be farming. He's just running around and hitting creeps. He doesn't think far ahead. So that was very bad for him, and we punished it as we should. And now it's about taking the aggressive farm, running into their jungle, keeping this area, warding for us, get deep wards in their jungle, and then it's easy to collapse on the mid lane when we have this at their jungle, and then we can like easily choose the fights we want to take. This one wasn't a good fight, so we just back out. Always taking the aggressive farm if you can. And now what I've been talking about is happening exactly. They are holding the bottom area, we are holding this top area, and we are happy with this because we have Spectre and Walker lineup. Our lineup is quite greedy, and we don't mind sharing the map evenly. And here, like, the way I'm positioning myself is as aggressive as I can without overextending, and just keeping up the pressure and farming as much as I can while pressuring them at the same time. See, I'm taking all their camps. Meanwhile, Spectre is farming bottom now. This is very good for us. We have a lot of farm, even though they're getting a lot also, but we are okay with it because we are a Spectre lineup. And yeah, because of our deep wards, we get a vision on them. We get a good information like how they're positioned in the map. Now we know this Doom is alone because we saw a lot of them on the wards and showing bottom. So it's a very good opening for us, and it happened because we were pushing this lane in constantly, and then we get a lot of TP rotations, and it opens up the map for us. Now the bottom lane of the map, it's free for us. So basically we are farming their jungle right now, and also we're farming all of our jungle. So this play really helped us stabilize the game for us. And because of that play, we are also getting the mid tower. To summarize this, what happened just in the replay is that we were falling behind in the game, but the way me and my teammates positioned in the map was we took aggressive position in the top lane, keep constantly pushing it in and forcing rotations from them to defend their towers, and by doing that we got a pick off on the Doom that ended up being very crucial for us in the sense that they had to rotate more heroes to try to help him, but didn't succeed. So we ended up freeing the whole bottom area of the map for us, because instead of going there ourselves and taking the fight on them, it's very hard for us to fight there because they could be warded everywhere on our jungle. So instead we forced a rotation on the top lane, and then we got the whole bottom area of the map for the Spectre to farm and stabilize the game that way.